Welcome back to Shady Valley. This is Shaggin Wagons. It's been a while since the last race, but there's some stuff we need to take care of. Right now we're back, and we're back on track. Moving on to round 5 and 6. Here are the drivers. We have Farrell Patrick driving the Chevy Nomad. Tillicum driving the Jackhammer. Big Mac driving the Chevy Nova Gassa. And last but not least, Grey Wizard also driving the Chevy Nomad. Let's move on to race 1. You have Big Mac and Farrell in the front. Farrell taking the lead, followed close by Grey Wizard. Big Mac losing ground. Tillicum all the way back, coming down to the win. That's gonna be Farrell taking first, Grey Wizard second, Big Mac third, and Tillicum taking last place. But at least he finished. Moving on to race number 2. This time we got Farrell and Grey at the front. Tight race up going. Grey sneaks up in the front. Farrell's pretty close behind. So is Big Mac, but he wrecks. That leaves only Grey and Farrell for the finish. You can see Grey Wizard beating out Farrell Patrick at a drag strip before the first major corner. It was all smooth sailing from here. Big Mac turns over right at this point, and I believe Tillicum gets stuck behind him. That's unfortunate. Moving on to race number 3. Tillicum in the pole position with Grey Wizard by his side. He desperately needs these points, but Grey Wizard leaves him in the dust. And that's all she wrote for this race. Grey Wizard takes a win. Tillicum comes in second, followed by Farrell Patrick and Big Mac. Grey Wizard showing excellent speed on this race. Shows that there's no competition beside him. Well, actually, Farrell Patrick has a lot to say about that. Let's see what goes down in the final race. Big Mac and Tillicum in the front. They mathematically can't move on, but let's just see what happens in this race. And as we talk about it, here goes Farrell Patrick passing Big Mac on the inside, winning the race and cementing his spot, moving on to the next round. As you can see here, Farrell Patrick playing no games, digging into his Farrell side, passing Big Mac right before the waterfall, and it was all she wrote, man. Big Mac turning over, Tillicum getting stuck behind, but Grey Wizard being smart enough to climb on the outside to secure his second place. That was amazing racing by both Farrell Patrick and Grey Wizard, securing their spots. Moving on to the second round. And as a reminder, this series was brought to us by Merch by Meekin. So for all your metal signs and diecast prints, hit up Merch by Meekin. Now moving on to Group 6, we have 4 more drivers. Mr. Dark driving the Avant RS2. Arlo also driving the Avant RS2. Rusty Rod driving the Chevy Wagon. Polo Racing also in a Chevelle Wagon. Let's go to race 1. We got Arlo in the pole position, Mr. Dark right next to him. Coming down the first stretch, Arlo takes a good lead, gets a little bit swirly. Cameraman pan too fast, but Arlo's in the back. Mr. Dark is now in the front. Polo wrecks. Mr. Dark wins, and here comes Arlo hitting Polo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we gotta see what happened to Arlo, because he had the lead coming down, and he gets a little squirrely right here. And then he just loses position. Mr. Dark and Polo passes. Dark comes in for the win. Polo hits the intersection. And here comes Arlo driving backwards. No wonder he hit Polo, because he couldn't see coming down like that. Polo gets in second place. On to race 2. Polo and Arlo are in front. Arlo needs to make up for the DNF in last race, but Polo takes a slight lead coming down. Arlo close behind. Actually, the gap is opening up. Nope, it's back closed again. Arlo comes in, but Polo wins. Arlo was really trying hard this race. As you can see on the stretch, there was a little bit of gap which opened up between Polo and Arlo. But somewhere along the lines, Arlo put on the boost and tried to get the win in the final stretch. He just could not pass Polo. Now we got Rusty in the pole position with Polo right next to him. Coming down the straight, it's a straight heat between Rusty and Polo. Rusty gets to the front, and then it's a clean race coming all the way down. Rusty, then Polo, Dark, and then Arlo. Arlo currently being very tough position with last place points. A miracle would have to happen for him to move on. With Polo Racing and Mr. Dark sitting comfortably. Race 4, we got Mr. Dark and Rusty in the front, Arlo in the back right now. Mr. Dark takes an amazing lead, going straight down for the finish. And we have a lot of drama happening right now with the finish line. We gotta look at that again. Okay, right now in the first stretch coming into the first corner, you see Mr. Dark in the lead with Rusty right on his tail, Arlo with a lot of space in between them. And then look right here. As we come to the intersection, Mr. Dark skids out of control and Arlo pushes his way through. I think on this one, he really hoped that Mr. Dark would not finish just so he could get those points. And even though he took second place in that, there was not enough points for him to move on. That distinction goes straight to Polo Racing and Mr. Dark. Up next, we got groups 7 and 8, final groups in round 1. See you guys soon.